Hello, this is Zimnala. Welcome back to my stream. I'm going to be playing a little bit more Demise today. We're going to pick up where we left off. I've got my second member up. They're both in fighting form, and we are to dive right in. Now, to summarize pretty much where we left off, our new member is a Ceres, who is part thief and part warrior. Artisan, actually. And we are leveling him up kind of a little stilted for a while, but it'll probably branch off into some more magic-y guilds as we go along, just to round it out a little. But the focus will be definitely on thief for that character. And my main character, the dwarf, is almost ready to start adding in their alternate classes as well. 25 is where you want to bring Artisan in for sure. But that may not be the only one I add to the mix.
Cool.
We're also almost ready to add in a third member. That's exciting. All we need is 2 more endurance tomes, and then I'm thinking we're gonna create our giant bruiser who's gonna be up front. Oof, those guys are a little painful. Let's evaluate what's going on there. Top everyone off. But then we're gonna go back in, because we're not gonna let crabs rule our lives. Get back in the ocean, you scrubs. Get out of here. It really wasn't worth it, but you know what? I felt like making that stand. Gonna make sure I didn't leave off with any quests. If you type in -G into the little in-game chat, it will tell you what you need for your next levels and any quests you have. A useful tip if you haven't read the documentation fully. Yep, we continue to look for more tomes and potions, but at this point we don't necessarily need more members, so it's not as much of a crisis if we don't get them. Yeah, if we get a third member up to snuff, we can be cruising on 4 pretty soon, and then 5 if they level up. So, that'll be exciting. But otherwise, if we gain about another 10 levels or so, then 4 and 5 will be on our menu anyways.
Please stop.
I don't know if I really want to open life drains. They're still not really worth it. But traps, you really have to decide on if you want to take the penalty if you don't actually succeed on it. Wonder if I can actually identify the trap. Nope, can't cast that either. Okay, fair enough. I'll have to consider that as a priority just so I can figure out what's going on. But I do want to save those tomes for classes and guilds that need it when they need it. But eventually we won't have to be anywhere near as picky. Yeah, corrosion's another one that you don't really want to mess with in case you fail. Because instead of losing stats, you could lose items forever, and some items cannot be easily replaced. Some of them are even unique items that the store starts with that you... Ooh, that's spicy. Okay. We're gonna have to figure out where our friend is. Now, there's a couple ways you can do that. One, you can just go and actually look for them in the dungeon, but you can also load up the character and see where they ended up. If you have it mapped, you'll see where they are. Alternately, if you run around, you might just run into them. Now, when you hit a teleporter trap like that, they will always be on the same floor. But just because I can go get them doesn't mean I have to do it injured. So I'm going to go back to town. I'm going to recover by leveling up. And yeah, I think I want to go back to the menu, see where they are that way. I think that they're probably strong enough to survive. If they die, I can go rescue their body. Okay, this is actually, I don't even have to rescue them. This is probably close enough to where we just were. That's very lucky.
Hello there.
Hi. We take those around here. Sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you get teleported into the middle of the water area, and that would be very unfortunate. It's actually more of a problem on the 4th floor because the game doesn't care if you're underwater. So yeah, go level 20. This is where the quest for Journeyman Key is an important thing that I put off to the side for this character. Now I'll read this off to everyone. This is another quest readout. You have been assigned the required level 20 quest for this guild. Alchak walks up to you after your training is complete, his shiny armor catching your attention. Time for another quest. In the depths below, we have placed a key, called the Journeyman's Key, for our members who have reached your level to return. It can be found in the area known as the Barracks. Once you've found this item, return it here, and I will give you more gold so that you can, he laughs as he studies your wardrobe, upgrade. You must return with one Journeyman's Key. Obviously, we already solved this adventure, so... Huzzah! There we go. This is another case where knowing what you got ahead of time can save you some time, but that's not too difficult of a thing to find anyway. It's just important if you get to mapping the dungeon that you actually go into every nook and every room, because these quest items only show up when you stand on their square. Now, Artok nods and takes the key from your hand with a smile. Excellent job returning the key. Remember that this is only the beginning of your tasks at hand. He gives you a small pouch of gold. I believe this is yours. And there we go. We've reached level 21. So we can put our stuff in there. Now let's clear our inventory and head right on back in. This might be a small upgrade. Yeah. But actually, I could probably just buy one of the other helms, to be honest. They might be a little better. Yeah, the Warrior's helm has a higher stats, I think, but... Actually, they might be the same at this stage. Yeah. Okay, might as well just go with it. That's fine. Because this one is the same thing my thief is going to need as well. Thieves can't wear the fancier stuff. They get their own stuff. It's not like they get nothing. Save the healing items. Leadership potion, tome. Not too shabby, but not what I need currently. Bracer. Do I even have a bracer on? I do, but it's a different one. There we go. Fair enough. This will be an upgrade for this one because they're going to need it for their thief as well. Might as well get that ready. There we go. Some minor stat upgrades across the board on that one. Now, it is important to note that actually Artisan leveling up gives you a lot more attack defense early on than even my warrior, so you'll see from the difference in stats is that this character is actually much more better off defensively than my warrior is on the dwarf. So my dwarf is actually going to switch to Artisan next and probably catch up pretty quick as I level that up. This makes it pretty good idea for people to raise up Artisan for a while, unless you really want to go single class for some reason, as it can give you a pretty nice early stat boost as well to your attack and defense. That's not specifically why I did it, I really just wanted the hit points. But it's good to take advantage of anything you can. So one more level on the warrior, and I'm going to slip back to town and trade them off to Artisan. It's part of why I had them up front, is because I want that to be sooner than later. Was there a chest I didn't open in this room? Oh, I couldn't open it, that's why. Yeah, I don't think I want to get teleported around again, so I'll let that one go. Not that it was a problem, but it won't always be that simple. It's actually just more of an inconvenience at a certain stage. Yeah, so it's always a good idea to do a couple fights with the warriors on each area you go to, just so you can see like if they are a big problem for you or not, because they're kind of like a good barometer for whether you're fighting outside your league. Don't want to open that. If I get a much better percentage chance to open it, I'll probably start considering it again, but 40% chance to have to go hunt them down for 5 minutes is not really what I'm looking for right now. Yeah, so green slimes are the first real problem for adventurers because they can actually destroy items. If you don't have to fight enemies that destroy items, I generally recommend not to, because they don't care about whether you're wearing the item or not, unlike thieves who will only grab stuff that you're just carrying and not wearing. They have a similar function otherwise. But like the items that you find are just whatever you found on the run, whereas items that you're wearing are usually higher quality than whatever you just found on the ground or in boxes. So, okay, yeah, I did clear this room out. Cool. Yeah, and if I actually clear out 3, and I might start dipping into 4, but it's not going to be my main choice early on. Get that on the map. Not smart enough for that. Oh well. Eventually you'll be able to use Explorer to unlock and explore these areas easily and mark stuff on the map, but I'll worry about completioning when I actually have a character able to detect that with me.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, anti-magic is another one I tend to avoid once I start casting spells on myself, but it doesn't really do much early on if you're not using anything to buff yourself. Because one of the things you start doing when you get a little bit into the magic guilds is you start looking at, okay, which spells can I cast on myself every run to make my run a little easier. And that'll depend on where you're trying to fight. Like, you don't really need a lot in extra resistances on the first few levels. But eventually, you'll start running into places that are really bad with acid spitters, for instance, and you might need to cast something to handle that, or even just a simple levitation spell can be a big life changer, and that's usually the first thing that I add in.
Cool.
There we go. Now we can actually switch things up a little bit, so they're just ready to straight up level up and get there. But the warrior is going to level up and change guilds. So yeah, we're going to add in artisan right into this mix and go up to 30. And that's gonna actually mean I can't wear a few things for a while, like this right here is my sword. I can't actually wear this until 16 as an artisan, so while I can bring that back in a while, fortunately it's swapping back with the dagger for now. And actually, that better armor I found is something that I believe that we can wear now. Actually, I could have worn this a while ago, but it doesn't matter too much. I'll put it on now, though. But when I switch back to Thief, I won't have that same luxury for a little bit. So it looks like we got at least one more tome of, not a tome, but we got at least one more point of constitution coming in. So this is actually nice, because This is a shield that is a direct upgrade for what I have going on. Nice. And you'll notice I tend to give all of my stat stuff to one character to hold, and that's just for convenience. It's better to just centralize that sort of thing. It's nice for every character to have a little bit of gold, but as far as just having stats to level people up with, I find that better just on one person so they can sort it out when they need to. Now, there's also other reasons to have them there, like that is because not only do you want to level up your stats now, eventually you'll start losing stats to just enemies attacking you.
Cool.
Like it's just a risk of it. And yeah, these are going to be some pretty short runs while I just let Artisan level up on the dwarf. As this is only going to take a few rooms to pin out on level 2 for this guy. And I don't even have to do that. I can fight on level 3 with it, but I actually want to get back and pick up that key for the dwarf for when they reach the same artisan level for that quest, because they're going to have the same quests as the other character. And I can start putting on these couple of pieces of equipment that I had temporarily taken off. But we're kind of at the point where there's very little chance of anything being able to hurt us in any significant amount here. So we can pretty much just run house on the whole place. But yeah. This isn't really a floor I'm going to be clearing regularly unless I have to now. Because while this is a good spot to start looking for stat tomes, they're actually available on essentially every floor below the first. And in fact, some of the rarer ones, like Wisdom and Intelligence, largely only drop from magic users who only start on floor 3. So... okay, we're pinned again. Time to go sort that out. But we are making progress. And I know there's actually a back way to get to that area that we'd cleared out on 3. There actually is another way to get there, but I actually just find it easier to clear it on the top just to get some easy experience in, while they have lower stats from not being able to wear all the gear they had. And as they catch up, it'll start fixing itself. Like that was another piece. Yeah, this stair right here is what I was talking about. This leads right down to that water area near the middle of 3. But it's actually pretty close to that anti-magic zone we were clearing out too. And you pass through there pretty regularly when clearing 3. It's It's a good ending zone because of that teleporter at the end of it that just takes you right by the altar and the little foyer. That's just a really convenient little... I wouldn't even call it a real secret. I mean, it's just always there. But there's like little hidden shortcuts all through this dungeon if you just know
Cool.
and are willing to experiment to find them. And at a certain point, if you get a high enough character to be pretty strong in general, you can just start entering those teleporters one by one and seeing if they take you somewhere good. But you do have to take the risk. If it's a random teleporter, you'll always end up on the same floor, but if it's a fixed teleporter, it could be anywhere in the dungeon. And I do mean anywhere. There's some that'll take you down like 10, 15, even 20 floors. So. And not always to like a safe room, so really is just don't go in without expecting anything. And I may eventually showcase some of them off. Some of them are just that useful, so a warning if I do something that doesn't seem like it's obviously to someone that hasn't played it before, and that's largely what I meant by potential spoilers for players if you don't want to know shortcuts.
Cool.
But yeah, here's that journeyman key again, in case you weren't here the first time. That's going to be needed by the dwarf coming up.
Cool.
I just wanted to get a little of experience in order to top that character's over the edge of even needing a level. It always feels nice if you can get at least one level on a trip. That way, you just go in feeling like everyone got something out of it. It's not strictly necessary. Iron dagger. Yeah, I turned one in the other time, so I don't mind buying that back. What do you want me to do? Kill an Issus? That's pretty easy. Not a problem. Yeah, we're gonna toss this key in here. We got that for later. It won't actually take that long. It's gonna be just in like maybe 20 minutes, if not less. I can tell that's a tome of lies from the amount that it's trying to sell for. I'm not even gonna ID it. So you can actually see like how much gold and EXP characters have, so you can get an idea of how long you've been giving them experience. So even now, my dwarf has twice as much experience overall as the Ceres, but it'll balance out if I move them around. But currently, I just want to get these first few like levels done pretty quick on this. We'll start balancing it out once everyone's on a relatively equal level playing field for strength. But right now, while they're catching up on their guild levels, they're going to sit up front just to get through those quickly. And that's the Issus I needed. Hey, maybe if we're lucky, we'll just find another Iron Dagger. I mean, you can't really count on that. That's a pretty unlikely item.
Cool.
But it could drop from anything here. Like, anything on the first, second or third floor that is a warrior type will drop some form of weapon or armor. So... Also, these demons tend to like to drop equipment versus scrolls a lot of the time, but there's actually nothing set in stone other than certain preferences that monsters have for things that they can drop. More like a waiting system than it is like a requirement.
Cool.
So yeah, we're actually stocking up on a few healing items here and there, but believe it or not, we'll go through them pretty regularly once we start dipping down into the lower levels, you know? When you're first exploring it, you might be a little underleveled or you might be overleveled, but it's really hard to tell till you actually go in there and fight. Since this game's leveling system is a little nebulous in strength. Because there's so many guild and like item combinations that it's really hard to tell where you are at any point. And it goes up in a kind of abstract way in some regards. Like you don't know what 5 points of attack and defense is going to do for your character. And it's still on like a random roll system, so. So I'll probably fight my way back to that little path upstairs. Now that both characters have enough for levels, and then just go through there, because it's actually safer than walking back around the water, to be honest. Equal opportunity, I'll clear everywhere, but if I don't have to walk next to the water, because if we fall in the water, there's like a 90% chance that we're gonna die. I do have it mapped out, and I just don't think I could fight through the enemies if they're aggressive in time to do that. Because even though we might win the battles, it doesn't matter if you don't make it out in time, because you do start losing health from just breathing issues. Oh yeah, I was gonna buy one because I did sell one to the store a little while ago. That's fine. It's not a very good weapon in its own. It's kind of like better than the starting weapon, but not a two-swing weapon. And now we're up to the 8th level quest for Artisan, which, if you don't remember, was just to go fight an orc and win. And that might take a little bit of looking around, but it's totally something we can do with no trouble. So we'll be heading upstairs to do that. I don't foresee any real issue with that one. But yeah, the Ceres is actually almost to 30, which is where they cap out on hit points from Artisan. So at that point, I'll have to look into whether they can turn into a Warlock, and if they can, that's going to take a lot of tomes, because in order to get to Warlock, you need 18 Wisdom and 18 Intelligence, so I don't know if you counted, but I don't think we've gathered that many of those stats, so I think we're maybe at like another 2 or 3 of each. So that could be a bit of an issue for doing that. So then we have to look at other possibilities, like maybe we have to start doing classes that we otherwise wouldn't necessarily need currently, but which aren't going to impact that uh, level limit. It's like if you're just leveling up other classes, you have more chances to find tomes, just as you do it. And that might be where we end up. We can give people some all-around skills, like maybe dabble into Thief for one character, and maybe get some Explorer in on the side, but you also have to meet all the stat requirements for every guild you want to join, so while it's very possible, it's also going to use up your stat tomes if you didn't want to use them that way yet, or you still have to strategize it a bit if you want to sort your way through it. Like, getting some Explorer would be really nice because we wouldn't get lost going around these spinners as easily. Like, we'll know which direction we're facing afterwards. So it wasn't super obvious. I used the map to navigate. The screen that you're looking at on the top is actually like more visually pleasing, but the actual map is much easier to see how to get around. So you kind of get used to scanning and seeing which enemies are in the room and deciding whether to fight them that way. So if you're wondering why sometimes I hesitate, it's because I'm trying to read it on the weird backgrounds. There's our goblin. Nice. Which is nice because we actually were close to pinning as well. Suppose I should head back even if I haven't gotten enough for the base for the Ceres, because yeah, they're not the show. This show's start. They don't need the experience so much right now. There we go. Yep, we got our little bit of gold from passing that, and I must kill a spider, huh? That's cute. Well, we know where those are. Seems the game really did want me to explore more on 2, even though I wanted to move back to 3. Fair enough. Hello there. I'm just exploring the dungeon. How are you doing? Oh yeah. Are you familiar with this game at all, or just checking it out? Well, that's good. Yeah, it's getting some late night streaming in. Well, this is a pretty good game, but it was made probably about 26 years ago, so it has some archaic parts to it that are a little hard for a person used to this current generation's game style to get into. There isn't much documentation for it, so you kind of either have to learn from people that have played it or from experimentation. But what I can say is it actually just got a new update, like this just a year ago, so it's actually still being developed by the person that owns the IP. They made it more Windows compatible with 10 and 11. They don't want to update the graphics because at this point it's actually part of the aesthetic. but it's like the biggest dungeon crawling game I've ever played. It has over 30 floors that constantly regenerate. It's got a randomized item and monster setup that I've not seen in a previous game. It's got so many traps and spells that and monsters can cast on you. I really would have found it cool if some other games tried to take some inspiration from this, but from what I can tell, it's largely just gone under the radar the entire time it's been around. Actually, most people know the beta version of this part much better than the current version. This isn't my favorite game like on an average thing, but this is probably my favorite in this genre. Like, there's other games I've really enjoyed. Like, every year I go through and play the Dead Space games, usually, and I also really enjoy the Earth Defense Force games. Like, I usually find games in different genres that I like, and while I've enjoyed them for most of my life, I only recently started streaming them and recording them. But as for streaming this regularly, I'm gonna try to. Mostly because I wanted to bring attention to it. Well, thank you. Like, I was really, really satisfied with that remake of Dead Space. It's the first time I've seen a remake actually be at least as good as the original, and it actually brought it to a new market. Well, you can share something with me, but if you're marketing to me, I'm probably not going to go anywhere with it.
Cool.
So yeah, you're more than welcome to give me suggestions for things to look into, maybe games to play, but I don't need like an artist or anything, and I don't need anything like that. But I'm not gonna assume what you want, so just feel free to share with me if you have some good ideas for stuff going on. Nice, we got another point of constitution increase. We can make a third one. Yep, it's very cool that you do art and stuff. I would happily make my own art for this, even if it's amateur, over buying any. I would have more fun using my own stuff. I'm probably not going to look at anything right now. I'm actually having fun playing. I don't plan on doing this professionally. I'm just showcasing a game I like to people that don't have many options for viewing it. But I do appreciate you considering me. It would probably be better if you found someone that needed that sort of service more than me. Because if I'm going to showcase stuff for this game, it's going to be actually artwork from the original stuff that I've saved on my computer. That was pretty good. I got several of these tomes and potions that are going to help us in our journey. But yeah, we got enough to set up another character. Let's get that going. Okay, so I've got 2 of those already all set. This one needs to be neutral. These also need to be neutral. There we go. That's good. Now we can head out and think about what new character we'd like. Now, I had a few ideas, and I thought about it off stream on what I would want to name them. I'll pop up the character creation window. So I'll start off with the race. We're going to have a giant. And I'll update the portrait once I get back into the game. Be a male. Choose neutral. We're gonna be a warrior to start. Make sure that the intelligence and wisdom are at least 10. So everything we can into con. It's if you can get dexterity to 12, it's best, but 10 will be serviceable. We can supplement it with rings to get the dagger of stealth now, without using more agility potions. Nice. As for the name, what would be a good name for this? Good, something silly, probably. How about we do a pun? Onigiri Slasher, because I think I'm gonna pretend that this is a giant demon. This is gonna be an Oni. Why not? There we go. We're gonna add in under other team members. Can move over for our stats. Pop in the dungeon for a second to get them situated. There we go. Yeah, let's go looking at the custom ones I added, see if we can see the one I had in mind for them. So we're not at the custom ones yet, but we're getting to them. Yeah, so got some nice portrait packs. I'll scroll through all of them slowly until I find the one that I wanted for this character. I kind of picked the name based on a picture I found, so yeah, like this is the picture I saw. I thought that looked pretty cool. So yeah. Since they're gonna be a bruiser, it makes sense. I liked it. Let's see if we can't change stuff up a little. I think I can wear this hat as a warrior, right? No? Is it a couple levels up? Nuts. Alright, we'll switch back. But we can definitely put on the girdle that the other ones could. I also want to say that those amulets are also level 1, and I found several extra. Oh, I don't have the gold for it. Well, we'll spot you a little bit. There you go. Enjoy. There we go. So yeah, now let's look at what extra tomes we got. See if we need anything useful in here that we don't need to save. Nope, everything we've saved has been for that purposes. Okay. But yeah, now we're gonna start distributing things more evenly for all 3 characters. And this one's gonna ride up front to gain some levels. Welcome to the team. Now, one thing interesting is different characters have different heights that they see the world at, depending on how tall they are. They also have different levels of brightness settings for them, depending on how good their eyesight is. And there's actually a screen that says what these are under the second one, like the sight value and the lung capacity and their natural ability to regenerate, which I think reflects on like how quickly they regenerate next to fountains. But see, look at how dark this is, such a difference. So I'm probably not going to use the giant to look while I'm walking around the world, but it's not going to matter too much. So we're just going to go around and let them gain some easy experience here and clean up anything that doesn't survive, basically, so they don't get hit too much. It's still possible that something gets a lucky hit on them. That's just, you can't avoid that in this game. But we're gonna do our best. Get them some quick levels. After they gain like maybe 3 or 4 levels, they'll be good enough to roll with us down a little bit. We're actually strong enough to mostly clear everything on 3 anyway, so once they have the hit points to take a few hits, they'll won't die from chip damage as easily. Yeah, this is where clearing it out before made it a little nebulous on where there are enemies to clear. But you know, we'll be okay. Yeah, I got beat up a little, but actually just standing by this fountain for a couple seconds should top that off. That's the one advantage of being level 1, is he only has 15 hit points, so not a lot to heal from there. It's important to keep fairly topped off because, as I mentioned in a previous stream, there's a mechanic where the more hurt you are, the lower your actual defense and attack are, so you'll just get absolutely blasted if you let it stay below like 50% hit points. You'll not enjoy that. So if you get a good opportunity to do it, just keep your hit points topped off. And one of the best ways to do that early on is those little fountains, but also all those like dusts and stuff I pick up. I definitely make sure to heal people up if they get below half health. But if you're regularly getting absolutely decimated that way, just consider fighting at a slightly higher spot than you can technically win, just so you don't take as much damage. Because the biggest thing for like fighting efficiency is just to make sure you're not dying while doing it. I think this didn't repop. Yep, there we go. You can dip through there. There we go. Let's get some of those nice early levels in and let's see how much it goes up. 10, not so bad. Yeah, that was a good 14 one. Yeah, now see, they already have almost 3 times as much health as they started, so it goes by pretty fast. Yeah, we actually didn't even find any real items other than that one scroll. That's fine. Yeah, I won't dip into 3 unless I absolutely have to, so I'm gonna keep clear until the end of this place, till I'm sure that there's nothing else I can easily get for him. Because while I can survive a few hits, I'd actually rather get a little bit more. And honestly, this is technically better for getting stat tomes because you just don't level as fast on the higher levels, so you end up just killing more enemies by virtue of that. So So time-wise, it's not really better, but as for like actually just that, it ends up being like more in the same amount of levels than it would be fighting anywhere else. But I don't think it's such a big deal that you have to worry about it too much. But I won't lie, I'm a bit of a efficiency nerd, so I like to keep track of what's actually most efficient for me. Even if I don't always follow it strictly. Gonna top them off a little bit. Yeah, we cleared that out. Yeah. I guess we did. Alright. We gotta... Oh, did stuff actually reset behind us? No, I think I just didn't get this corner. Yeah. That would have been too lucky if it actually dungeon popped behind us. I mean, don't get me wrong, the dungeon popping can actually give you trouble too if... I'm gonna save that because I might need an owl. I'll remember it's there. Otherwise, I'd have to, like, buy one from the confinement, and I'd really rather avoid that if I can. Yeah, we're gonna dip down a floor, finish this off. Yep. With 2 backup characters like this, it's pretty likely that there won't be too much of a problem. I'll have to heal as I go, though. Yeah. If they get a bad hit like that. Maybe avoid fighting warriors. He doesn't have enough defense to deal with warriors, so... Another solution I could have is putting him in the back row, but I'd rather him try to get experience. Yeah, even using up some extra healing items than I technically needed to, because he's not getting the full heal from, is still not a bad plan, just for efficiency and time-wise. Got lucky with that one, that it didn't take anything from us. Oof. Well, he didn't make it, but you know what? We can carry him back, and that's not so bad either. Because the biggest problem with dying is just that you age from being found by the random people. If you can carry your fallen deck, it's not such a big problem. We were fighting a little outside of his league, so it is what it is. Well, he got his first defensive ding. Let's toss stuff over to people that can identify them better, because I know these are actually stat upgrades. Yeah, if you don't get found by explorers, you don't lose all your gold either, so there's more than one benefit from that, but I think he's gonna get some stat upgrades because we found like this potion of might. I'm gonna give that to them. Another leadership. Endurance, yeah, we can start saving up for that fourth character. That would be pretty good. Was that good? That was neutral, actually. Do I have a neutral stack? No, but I got a good stack I can stack up. Okay. Let's make that simpler. Alright, sure. I'll make ourselves very slightly more likable. Why not? Oh, I had it wrong. Oh, no. Oh, well. Not a crisis. I don't need it right now anyway. But let's, switch that to neutral. I'm not too sad about losing a tome of leadership, let's put it that way. I could also gain some strength from that, so strength is a big factor on how much damage you do and like how your stats are. Like dex and strength are the ones that raise that attack defense the most. Now other ones that do the same something similar is intelligence and wisdom, but those also raise your magic spell cap, your spells cap, so that has a more functionality in that direction. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to burn healing items on them until I'm out. Because honestly, if you carry too big of a stack, it just feels bad if you lose it from enemies stealing it, so it's actually better to just use it as you go. Oh, okay.
Cool.
Fair enough. That's not really a real problem, because everyone's fully healed. I just gotta know where they're sitting at. Oof. So they're not dead, that's the good thing. The bad news is that they're underwater. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Now I could wait for them to get rescued, but what I am going to do instead, so we're gonna work our way there. So I have a rough idea of where that is. We're gonna see if we can't retrieve them. That was... I didn't actually know you could get teleported above the water. That's not good. Are they below the... Are they near the other stairs? Let's go take another look at that. I know I saw them by some stairs. So... Oh boy. How's the breath on these guys? Is my breath better than the... Yeah, than the dwarf? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start traveling with this. Oof. That's gonna be a rough... I don't want to lose more party members to this than I need to.
Cool.
So yeah, what I could do is just start clearing rooms and hopefully get to where they are. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have tried to take him. It's fine. So yeah, might accept that death. That is unfortunate. It's easier than what I have to do to rescue them. It's not to say I'm just gonna straight accept the death. I'm gonna actually try to escape with that character, but I try to do something a little fancier. Well, as you can see, I might have pulled it off, but that was a lot of my healing items. Oh well. Like I said, you use them or you lose them eventually, so... It's not like it's gonna be a real problem in the long run. Alright, let's get our team back in one spot. Well, that was a bit of a fun adventure. Now I know, don't take teleporter ones lightly, because they can toss you over water just to fall into it. So I not only took fall damage, I also was underwater. And this right here is a spell potion, but I already have pretty much all the low level spells like covered, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. So I'm just going to turn that in so I'm not holding on to it. And yeah, that was a bit of a side from what we were going to be doing, but, you know, it's fine to get distracted a little bit. Yeah, so here's more teleporter ones. You gotta watch out for that. They'll get you if you're not careful. It might not be a bad idea to get into cleric for some characters, just so you can actually get some free healing each time you go in. So it gets rid of the chip damage. You just get used to topping all your characters off, because especially when you're lowering a level up character like this, or kind of power leveling it in a way. It's like they absolutely don't have to sit up front. They're taking more damage because I have them up front. But that was part of why I made sure they had a couple levels before I did this, because it affects if they could take a couple of these hits from these harder enemies before going down, which lets us heal them. So it only makes it expensive to level here, just not impossible. Yeah, otherwise the biggest thing I save these stacks of like crystals for is in case I get into a bad situation like the underwater one and I don't have like any choice but to burn my supplies to get out. You have to have supplies to burn them, so I hold on to supplies. You know? Now that's actually an upgrade for some characters, that dagger that I have there. That's called the Leth dagger. I'm glad I unlocked that. It's a good upgrade from Dagger of Stealth, because you start encountering enemies that can't be hit by the Dagger of Stealth as you go through the dungeon. So getting off of that initial like weapon level is kind of important. So last thing you need is a bunch of enemies you literally can't hurt. I can't go that way easily. Okay. Well, that was kind of close. Let's see if we can't sneak by. There we go, we did squeak by. Just trying not to use my items more than I needed to. Oh, there we go. So yeah, we're almost up to 30. We can switch off straight back to Thief for a while, and then we can start looking at a another guild to look at after that. Let's see what we got. 10 more hit points. 10 more hit points. And now that owl I saved will come in handy if the dungeon didn't repopulate. But I have a feeling it might have. We got distracted for a little bit. Oh good, more learning. Oh, nice, more of these. I think I gave it to that character, but let's... Nope. Then this can go back to the dwarf. This is just a solid upgrade for Bracer. But this is called the Leth Dagger. No, not every character can use it. And it's actually not even necessarily stronger right now than this dagger. But in the long run, it is better. So, until I'm ready to fight on that floor, I'll put it in the bank. I mean, into the store. But once we get ready to go down there to levels 4 and 5, we're going to have to look into it. Until then, it can be sidelined. We had an agility potion too. That's nice. Oh, I didn't mean to move it there. Okay, well, that's going to go to Oni anyway. Nice. We take the little upgrades where we can. Yeah, we're coming along nicely. Our third character is not strong yet, but they're definitely getting to the point where they can take a few punches. Where do we want to go? We have to go looking for a owl. That's for free. Yep, it repopulated. Here we go. There's our owl. Yeah, maybe we'll go a little gentler on our healing items. Let's just run around till he's capped. That won't even take long. Now, giants are a kind of interesting thing because they can only join 4 guilds anyway. So they kind of can cap out pretty early in the game as far as total EXP. So, like a human can join up to 10 guilds, 9, 10 guilds without too much trouble if you just like plan your character around it. So the amount of XP you'll need is so much more, especially if you consider that a lot of those are magic guilds, and those guys' experience is on a whole nother level. Like the difference between raising a warrior and a magic user's EXP is about twice as much. So it's like that. But not only that, it's actually usually more difficult to fight as a magic user, at least in single player, because you have to worry about the fact that your weapons aren't going to be doing as much damage melee wise, so you either have to use spells to supplement it or just fight a little differently, like maybe a couple levels higher than before. But you start having other options in a multi-player party like this. You can actually preset it to cast spells, and there's items that actually regenerate your hit points and magic points and stuff, so it's possible to just have them sitting in the back casting spells the whole time if you want that. Yeah, they're taking some damage. Probably could have done that the whole time, but it's fine.
Cool. Cool.
There we go. Take a second. Let's just look at what we got. We got another stat potion. That's nice. Maybe another tome. Actually, just preemptively give tomes to. Oh, we had an agility one I didn't use. All right, let's get it on. And they're high enough level now that when I get back, I can just give them some of those shimmering rings too, and get them a little bit of a stat boost that way. Like, I would have had to do that management in town or not, so might as well just do it by a potion. I mean, by a fountain. There we go. Yep, that looped around to where we were at. Oh, was there a chest? Didn't see it for a second.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, in between trying to like brute force 3, it's not bad to take like a second and just go through an easy run around here just to take a little bit of the micromanagement out of it for a bit. I wonder if down there popped too, or if I can just... Nah, it did. Okay. Alright, we'll do it the other way then. That's fine. I was hoping I could just get an easy teleport back, but you know... Well, I could win my fight there. I'll just save it, because I don't want to waste it, the XP on the other characters more than I already am. I mean, it's good that they're leveling too, but if you focus most of it on the main character you're trying to level, they'll catch up quicker. So we got 11. Another 11. Well, those are all solid. If you get like 10 per level, it's pretty good. I don't even have to buy one of the shimmering rings. It's just in my inventory, which is kind of nice. I'm not going to wait for that to happen. Suppose I could look if the other ones have one already in there. Nah, let's just get one. I've sold quite a few to the store. What are the other ones wearing there? Bracers? You can probably get him a bracer. Sold a few of these to the store too. Let's see. I think I'm high enough level to start looking at upgrades. Yeah, that's higher level. That's fine. There we go. We're getting that settled in. Can I wear that better yet? Let's see. Not quite. It's a little nicer. Attack didn't go up my bunch, but I need defense more than attack at this point. Take a few less of those nasty hits. There'll still be things he can hit. Yeah, not messing with corrosion. That's a given.
Cool.
Yep, keep tossing potions our way. We'll keep them. That we might be on our 4th character and final member, and then we can just start saving some of them up for if we need them in the future. Yeah, what's cool is that once you get past like the HP bonus guild stuff, you can just level whatever you actually choose to. Now, there's definitely a meta. Warrior will always get you great results no matter what you do. It gets you plenty of fighting ability. It'll unlock some good items for you earlier than most guilds. It also gives you extra swings. But you do have any option you want to. So you don't have to feel like you're pigeonholed into anything. if I choose pick fights with those guys, I'll still take a bit of damage.
Cool.
But honestly, he's past the large part of where he's super weak, so it's gonna catch up pretty quick. And I'll start getting more healing items than I was spending soon. It's really nice to see all these undead, but I don't really want to deal with life drain. But they are one of the better sources of books in the dungeon, so. It's also worth noting that the thief is actually going to get a lot of extra just random EXP, because whenever you disarm a trap, you do get a fair little chunk. So it's nice to keep that in mind. So it's actually safe to put them closer to the back because they'll actually get more XP than you think. But yeah, probably gonna mosey my way back. I didn't pin, but enough of my characters are ready for a level that it's worth it. Oh, just enough for one level. Maybe just dip in the other side. There we go. And now we can shuffle things up a bit again. Tome of Lies, that's hilarious. Such a useless item, but it's fine. But honestly, I'm not going to be on this guild for a while, so I'll probably forget about it, but I'll have it on hand to buy later. I'll try to star one in the bank if I don't already have one. Nope, but it's okay. That's the fitness potion. That's a nice upgrade for someone. Haven't had one of those yet. But yeah, we can get more agility as well. That's pretty lucky as well. That's gonna go to Oni. Neutral learning? Do I have a neutral stack? I don't have a neutral stack. Well, that's fine. I can just chill in there for now. And you could also gain a level. That became a thief again. What kind of items can I swap out? Oh. So I can't use this for a while, so that can sit in the bank. Can't use this at all, so that can chill in there too. Also can't use that. Okay. So now back to what we can use. I can use this guy. One of these ones. Yeah, I think that'll do it for a hot minute. Alright. Where do I want to go? Well, actually, I forgot I can buy a couple things to upgrade their stuff too. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's keep them nice and equipped. So I can get a better cloak. Is that 9? Let's make sure. It is. That's good. Let's switch this guy out. I guess technically we can wear that slightly better sword. Not much, but it was a little better. We can pop our agility up. We can pop our strength up. And every little bit's gonna make it a little easier. Where was that warrior? Oh, it was probably in the other room. That's right. Heard it.
Cool. Cool.
But yeah, now that he's got a little bit more attack and defense, fighting warriors is not such a big deal now. I just need to have him not get hit by literally every swing. Nice to see so many potions popping in there. Did I clear out the whole corner? I did. Okay. Fair enough. Alright. But yeah. We're gonna clear our way through these levels a little quick and hopefully get enough XP to actually get them strong enough to head to 4. Because like I said, with a third party member, we might be able to do that pretty soon. Now the actual thing that's going to make a big difference is him getting that extra swing as well. So, be pretty excited when that happens. Good to keep seeing potions showing up in tomes, so. The game kind of takes a different tone when you're actually swimming in tomes and stuff. You actually feel like you can just go for leveling rather than looking for them. There's also going to be a big change to where we can go once I actually get some magic users in this as well. But the first little bit is way easier if you just get some thieving and warriors in the mix. So you won't really be able to support magic classes until you get enough stat potions anyway. Because either their stats will be super low because you gave them all intelligence and wisdom over strength and stuff, or something along those lines. So you either have to fully supply them before you start, or just do warrior and stuff for a while first. The requirements are just lower.
Cool.
Okay, so 2 of them can level up already. So another interesting thing to note is that you don't actually have to visually see the number on your thieving thing actually change to go higher. What is actually more important is just to gain a level in the highest guild for it, because that is what actually affects the number. It's not the number that's there, but it actually has fractions of points that aren't visible. Another big factor is how intelligent your characters are, because that also affects not the chance to undo a chest, but actually the ability to identify it correctly. Dexterity is the one that affects the chance to opening it. But it's also really, really important to know which trap it was going to be, because some traps you won't succeed, but it doesn't matter if they go off as much. Like, I don't care if I take a little chip damage from an explosion or fire trap. But I really care if I'm gonna potentially lose an item. There we go, this floor is emptying out pretty nicely. Sure, I'll take a second and look at my inventory just to see what's going on. So that's more agility, that's nice. None of these potions mattered, but I had some tomes and things. Gonna move some of the other stuff to them so I can just simplify it down to where I can see it all on one page. Nice. Now as you level up, you can actually identify it directly without having to identify it in the store, so eventually you'll know what's actually junk and what you can just throw away in the dungeon as well. So that's another level to it you might get to. If you end up on a longer run, you might consider just junking items rather than going back to town. Yeah, I'll try to pin, especially seems how some things popped this way. Okay, I can pop down here. There we go. I just remember that there was a bounty there. And yeah, we lost our lovely little friend, but I mean, they really weren't doing too much for us.
Cool.
There we go, nice and pinned. Nice, we're getting really close to that dagger upgrade. Yeah, it's a pretty good day when you come home with 4 stat potions and a run. Especially when they're all like agility and stuff and learning. So you've got neutral and good. What's the other ones? Good. Okay, we can consolidate that. Four is enough to change the neutral, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. That's a stack of 6 of these bad Larrys, so we can... Oh, these are tomes of insight. So I have far more learning than insight, but it's okay. So let's see what that bounty was. Let's see if it was anything exciting. Just a bunch of gold. That's fine. Just gotta trim the bounty board a bit. They're always offering such extreme nonsense for things you not worth actually getting. Actually, Tome of Insight might be worth getting. You get enough of those Gordu staffs randomly anyway. In fact, I might go see if the Tavern Keeper's actually found one, because it's a cursed item, so it doesn't normally show up. So, a mechanic I haven't talked about at all is the Tavern Keeper actually picks up a bunch of stuff that is just littered all over the dungeon. You can just buy it. Oh, but the difference is you actually have to have the money on your character, so let's just take it all out for a second. I'll put it back in when I'm done. Let's shop for a second and see if we have anything useful. Let's just get a tome. I don't know which one it is. I'll identify it later. Taking a guess on it, but like... I guess you guys can't see this. I could probably... Oh, maybe. Maybe I could make it visible. I don't actually know if it shares a window. Oh, no, it shows. Good. There we go. Now, some of this is cursed. Some of this is actually useful. Like, this is another Leth dagger. Cursed. What I'm looking specifically is a cursed staff, and a lot of the stuff seems to tend to be cursed if you look around enough at it. But like, you can actually find some good stuff in here too. Like this would be an upgrade for one of my characters. Only thing that's sad is it doesn't save your position, so you gotta kind of remember where you were looking. So that was nothing. I know I said a couple of streams ago that you could save cursed items. This is the reason why you'd want to, is for like an actual good bounty that shows up. But yeah, you do find them pretty infrequently, so even if I don't find it, it's fine. I can just pick it up in a while. Whenever I find one of the cursed items. That's an upgrade for one of my characters, perhaps. I think it's a hat of a helm of defense, but it could also be the protection one. Like they share a very similar sprite. And there is only one way to clear this list out. You have to buy every item in it. So maybe someday when I'm made of money, you know? But I scrolled through it. I didn't see a better one, but let's look at the couple that we got. Like, are you a defense? You are defense. This is an interesting item that it actually adds protect in. It has a relatively low level to it too, and can be used by any guild. This is actually the only character that can currently wear it, so might as well. Oh. Let's make it neutral. So I believe defense just adds a straight up reduction to damage, so. Oh well, I mean, it was lies after all, but you know what? This character actually needed lies. It's fine. Are we high enough level to use this? 16? Not yet, but it will be as soon as I level up one more time. Which might honestly be the case for this weapon too. Yes. Good. We'll put our money away again. We will return in for more adventure. Did I not? Alright. I'll sort that out when I get back to town again next. I put it in our inventory. Good enough. So yeah, some of your runs are going to have more management than others, but it's worth keeping on top of. What's important is not that you just be fighting constantly, it's that you be working out what you want to do. I do some of that while fighting. I do some of that as I find what new things I didn't have. And what I want can change depending on how I'm fighting in the dungeon. Like I might decide, hey, I really need healing. Let's focus on that. Or I might decide, no, I need to be able to levitate so I don't fall into these pit traps. Now there are places that pit traps would actually keep me from fighting on this floor, but it's really the next floor that it starts being more of a problem. Like, you can get around just fine in few routes without hitting any pits, but they start putting them directly in your way as you go down. So once you're heading into 4, you kind of want to have that as part of your main squad somewhere, as just someone that can actually solve that problem for you. Preferably on all of your characters. Yeah, and part of the reason why he's not leveling anywhere near as much as my main characters is partly because he's missing a lot of these attacks. But he also only has half as many swings anyway. So it might actually reach a point where it's easier for another character to pin even though they're in the back. That's fine. As long as they're still up front there, you're probably getting more overall experience than anyone else. See, everyone pinned but but him. It's kind of funny. That was a little interesting. Maybe I needed Howdy It was about halfway point for one of them. I'm not gonna worry about it. It's also of note that one of them's doing an artisan, which has the lowest EXP requirements of any class. So the fact that they're not taking much to level doesn't really surprise me very much. Got another Dagger of Leth. That's pretty nice. I think that's probably leadership, if I was to guess. Here's another cursed item. I guess I'll start actually saving them instead of just talking about it. This is a Dagger of Redemption. It's actually used for a couple of quests as well, so it's a good idea to hold on to one as it is. So I will need this for a quest, so it's gonna sit there. So yeah, we can get a minor upgrade with this character. We can put on that better sword. Keep the dagger handy in case I switch back to another guild soon. I can wear this better girdle. Honestly, I can also upgrade a few other things, like I can get that better armor on. Nice. One more level and they can put on better equipment. Actually, I'm gonna go the other way. I think I mostly cleared out this side, but this side should have some things to kill at least.
Cool.
Yeah, these guys can paralyze you, but it's not really a problem if you got more than one party member. Otherwise, they get free rounds on you, and it can be bad, because a lot of the enemies that do that also tend to be stat drainers. This just happens to be the case where they're not at that danger level. So, they're kind of like an early warning to that effect. As to how paralysis works in this game. So usually you get paralyzed by these low level ones and you lose a few rounds of combat and you go, you know, that would really suck if something worse is going on. Maybe I'll consider getting paralyzed resistance. But paralyzed resistance is a lot less necessary with a group. And if you were to be running a single player character, it can be a real run ender. They don't have to be a very strong enemy if they get like 10 or 15 attacks on you before you can move again.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, I don't love exploring the water areas early on because you don't have a reliable way to refill your air most of the times, but I mean, it is technically possible to get around in it. They kind of space out stairs so that if it's pretty clear, you can make it if you're fast. But it's still kind of a real risky maneuver if you don't know exactly what you're doing. That's part of why I make it a priority to actually map those areas out fully, because when you need out, you need out. So you need to know which ways lead out. Now if I get enough to level with Oni, I'm probably gonna head back to town immediately, because he can wear the better dagger as soon as I do. Yeah. It's okay, just a bit of a game hiccup, but not a crisis. Should return. There we go. I guess I'll head back and find a single enemy somewhere to cap that off. Oh. Another level of thief. Artisan's catching up. See, I just gained a attack and defense buff, so yeah, it's already overtaken warrior. That happens so fast. I try to spread out my healing items on every character, that way in case they get separated, they all have a little something. Yeah, if you just like raised your leadership on your characters, the enemies will be a little less likely to directly attack you when they meet you. That's the biggest thing that does. It also affects how likely monsters are to want to join you. But both of those are fairly nebulous and not especially necessary. Like, I'll probably save this black chainmail for a good Gordu staff because, like, it leads to a chain with this other one. But you actually need a couple of black chainmails for you need one for every warrior at some point. They've got a pretty nasty surprise quest down the line if you're not prepared for it. You could actually get stuck just sitting at like max at that level waiting for it, or like switching guilds and running around for quite a while just preparing to trying to find it. Thing is that anything can drop them below a certain level, so like they're not impossible to get, but you wouldn't know to save them because they're cursed. But yeah, we're making good progress. What do you think? I think I want to dip down into 4 and see what that's about. I think we might be able to do a little bit. We've got a decent number of healing items. You got 6 swings to beat him back. I'm going to try to avoid fighting in those groups of ants unless they're already attacking me. They are a great source of experience, but also they're probably going to hurt at least Oni quite a bit.
Cool.
Like, fighting down here can be a good source of getting a few new items that I haven't found for these characters yet. Maybe get a couple of upgrades on my list of stuff to I can use. And these right here are something you want to save up as well. These are extremely useful for having in cases of emergency and if you just want to speed up the dungeon, because it has a specific function that is not obvious to a newer player. If you use one, it will teleport you to a coordinate that you set with a magic spell that every character gets over here called Establish Mystic Portal. Now you have to actually be of high enough stats to cast that spell, so most players might not think, hey, cast this when they're smart enough. But the thing is that you set a point for anything that can cast the spell Open Mystic Portal, which is these. The first thing is these green orbs, although green crystals. But after that, there are other sources of it as you go through. So what you can do is you can use these to return from a trip by setting a portal right outside town. That's the easiest use of it. It's also an easy thing to set up and give everyone a crystal so that if they get separated, they can just get back home. You don't have to go hunt them down. Like if I'd had one of those crystals and I had been able to set that for that dwarf, they could have just teleported home. I wouldn't have had to fight my way out of the water area. But honestly, those are kind of fun too. Like, I won't lie, that was fun rescuing them. Like, the little mini crises, that's where a lot of the fun in this game comes from. It's nice to see that 4 isn't that damaging in an overall sense. Let's see, let's fight him, but yeah, taking a decent amount of chip damage, like, we can definitely win. Not sure that was quite worth it on a trading blows way. So like I say, I'll fight him if I have to. I'm not gonna actually start the fights. But it's good to know that I don't immediately take a ton of damage in it. And as I said, I'm not gonna actually pick a fight with those slimes unless I need to. Or if they have attacked me first, there's not too much I can do about it. Like, I have a good chance of killing the dangerous one, which is the new slime, the green slime. The other one is just either a floor slime or the other one it spits on you. It's just pain. It's not really dangerous to your items. So yeah, once you get to 4, you start getting a lot more of these large groups that just give you a bunch of experience. So, the saturation of it, EXP, gets a lot better on this floor. This is sufficiently far away enough that I'll probably wait till at least 2 of us are pinned. There we go.
Cool.
So it looks like we can add 4 into our list of targets, because, like, it's manageable now. And if we start running low on healing, we'll just take it off for a while and get some more by running on 3 and 2. So that's kind of how I look at new floors, is I look at, am I getting beat up more than I'm getting healing items for otherwise? So we got a random quest. What is it gonna ask? Giant spider? Not so bad. We can do that. And we're back to the journeyman quest for this guy, but fortunately we put one aside. So it will not be a problem to go get that. So what have we gotten? This is a cursed item I'm going to hold on to. It's called the Gauntlets of Fumbling. Guess I'm going to start having her hold on to our cursed items. More agility is welcome. Another endurance, that's also nice. Now I'm probably going to give more dexterity to the dwarf, because they can actually end up joining the Thief's Guild as well. And even if you didn't need it for like the ability to open chests and stuff, it's actually really good because it also is the best guild for adding backstab in, which is a damage multiplier. So we can store this in here. Now what level was this at? 24? We're not quite there, but we can keep it in mind. So we can gain that after a second. I'm just going to see if I can actually join Warlock. Yep, I can eventually join Warlocks with this cloud. So I think both the dwarf and her are going to want to get to 18 and 18. And that will put them on the ability to join Warlock and make our way towards more hit points that way. It might not be the first priority for either one of them, but it is an overall goal to keep in mind. It lets you keep track of who needs how many tomes of what. Now it's actually better to focus on one character who needs it first and let them work their way towards it, because that way, because you probably don't have enough tomes to do everyone all at once. So I'm gonna put that away. Which alignment is that? Okay. So I'm gonna move my actual equipment a little deeper in. Yeah, everyone's progressing pretty well. We're doing a good job at leveling. Where do I want to go? I can go back to 4, actually. I can go there's 2 main directions I tend to search in it. Ooh, some stuff popped here. Okay, that's cute. Or did I just not kill that one? I don't know. I don't think I would have left a skeleton, but maybe I did.
Cool. Cool.
These guys may be more damage than I want, but let's find out. I think we can wreck them with the full party. Yeah, we did. I know they were pretty rough early on for my first character alone, but we've come a long way since then. Yeah, those are some nasty enemies down there. Those ones can turn you to stone if you're not careful, so definitely be advised of looking ahead if you can get away with it like that one room lets ya. Nice. Well, that was an unlucky one. They got hit pretty hard. Still, it's worth it. We're progressing really fast on this floor. Do I want to go back with just one? No. But I will cycle them to the back and let the other ones get a little bit more of the EXP pie. Alright, that's two of us pinned. That's a good time to return. Everyone can level. It doesn't really matter if we take a little bit of damage. That's a new addition. We got the white cloak. It's a little bit of an upgrade for at some point. Take a look at it. Oh, I have to go defeat that real quick. Okay. That shouldn't take very long to find. We'll pop in and do that real quick. Kind of slipped my mind. Oh, and we gotta put the key in there. I see. We'll add a little bit more to the warrior in. Let's clear up the inventory at least. Now what level are you at? 26? So the only one that can actually wear this are the artisans. And only one of them can actually do that, so we're gonna do that. There we go. A little bit of a increase to both dexterity and charisma. Not that charisma matters the most, but dex is nice. And we can put our journeyman's key in. We can get that level up. There we go. So it wants me to kill a footpad, so we both gotta find something in here. I'll probably find this without too much trouble. I just need to get a spider. But it's fine either way. So, the dwarf has already found their quest, and they've already found their quest. Mission accomplished. We can gain our levels. Nice. And I suppose these would be better if I used them rather than just holding them, right? Nice. Yeah, so we are coming along nicely. Very good. This is why you head down to lower levels as you actually start building up better equipment.
Cool.
There we go. The dwarf can already gain a level. That's good. Yeah, I'm not gonna pick a fight with the crabs. They'll probably just hurt more than it's worth it. But it's okay. They're not deadly. But I also don't need to take that damage, so I'm just kinda... I'll let them live there. They can have a good time there. I haven't really called much attention to it, but the Amazing Bobble is actually almost up to the point where it's done with Artisan for a while. That didn't take very long. Yeah, we start getting to these cases like this corner here where being able to fly would make it safer to go into pitted areas like that. Well, you can just go in and take the hit. I also don't really feel it's worth it in some cases. Do I want to just go over this? It's probably fine.
Cool.
Yeah, so you start seeing the mechanic where if you're hurt a little bit, you take a lot of damage like that. I had been fully healing before, and I got a little lazy, and, well, it gets a little painful if you let it. Yeah, we're gonna have to avoid 4 for a little bit, but it's okay. We had fun here.
Cool.
Well, at least everyone can level up now. That's what I actually wanted. That's cool. I got another one of those swiftness boots. Those are nice. Another spider, huh? So that's some intense stuff you want me to catch, huh? Got another one of these tree tices. Don't necessarily need it, but let's see. I got a bounty for a drung. I don't even know exactly which enemy that is, so we'll take a look at that and drop it off probably. So let's take a look at this enemy. I don't know much about them. Not much. Fair enough. That's okay. Let's see, so you can gain some more strength. So keep one of these in stock too. So this is a ring of defense versus one of straight up swiftness. So this will give you less attack defense stats directly, but it can lower the damage you take. So it might be worth considering if you end up having enough dexterity for everyone. But I think we're actually okay with this for now. This could be an upgrade for someone though. Oh, Nate, I forgot that I had this little hole in the middle here. Fair enough. Well, we'll also get that. Now, I don't pay the most attention to rings, but let's come look at a few of them just to see what they got going on. See, this one I sell because it doesn't have any stats on it. It lets you cast a spell. This one does have dexterity, so it could be considered an improvement to the other one, but it actually doesn't offer higher stats in a general sense. It just is the same. This one is a poison resist ring, which can be useful if you are suffering from that a lot. This is a constitution upgrade. This is a protection one of a higher value than the other one because it actually offers a little bit more defense. This is a much improved version of those. And the stuff here starts getting a little bit more... like everything here is higher level. Except for this one. This one's a new item that came in here. This one's good because it protects and lets you see invisible. So it can be a little useful that way. So it's kind of a replacement for that amulet that let you see. So yeah, the main thing that we're going to do for a while is we're going to kind of avoid 4 in an overall sense until we get a little bit more healing items again. But as you go along, you'll need that less and less. It'll just become easier. We were definitely fighting a little bit below our total strength. take a small hit.
Cool.
It's good that there's 2 of them ready for that first level up. I don't know if she's actually going to be able to level off this run, but it'll be okay. What I can do is move him to the back, and we'll go from there. No, I think we can make it. There we go. They'll just fight pinned for a little bit. What do I see? Treasure chest. I don't know if I trust that enough. It did say it was something a little worse a while ago.
Cool. Cool.
There we go. 5 levels between us. I'll take it. Got another good armor piece for a warrior type class. Oh, we gotta get the spider. I forgot about you. Okay, that's fine. And we're gonna have to go there to get an orc anyway, so yeah. Let's go shopping for orcs and stuff, I guess. I think this is a necessary item for everyone to have, so I'm gonna consider saving a version for every character. I think it's an artisan quest. So that's lies. This one is probably leadership. Yep. So someone can use this. Maybe even you already. We'll take a look at it shortly. There we go. That's a nice little upgrade. I can upgrade their boots. What else can I get for us? I think I can upgrade the bracers as well. Nice. Let's go find ourselves a spider and an orc. That's the spider. I can head back in because it's so close to town and just turn that right in. That way at least not everyone is pinned. What do you want? Another giant spider? That's cute. Okay. Well, we're gonna find another one along the way to get an orc, so it's fine. Well, that's the Hicksay that they needed for their warrior guild. That's nice. So we got our spider as well. We'll finish clearing out this corner and then we'll head back. This is actually a layered monster that's from a couple dungeon floors below this. But they're not actually that much stronger than regular magic users. Okay, yeah, we'll head back and sort that out. Yeah. Nice, more insight potions is welcome. Leadership. Yeah, I didn't even care about using that immediately. More leadership. Yeah. So I suppose I should see what that takes. What does it need? 12 and 12. Yeah, don't have that yet. But making sure to keep everyone in the process of holding on to theirs. Suppose I can use the stat items real quick. That's. We'll save the insights. As soon as I see which kind it is. Good. Alright, how are we looking out here? So 19's pretty good. Got that going good. So, what's our stock on endurance potions? 2. We've got 4 of them. We need 1 more to bring in another party member, so that'll be almost one of the first things we do on the next stream. I'm probably gonna wrap it up here pretty shortly. But yeah, I'm gonna get people to high enough level to consider casting those spells on their intelligence and wisdom. I'm gonna kind of ignore our Oni for a little bit while that's sorted, because they don't need it quite as quickly. So we need 2 of each. So that's 1. Come on, give me the list. There. So the other character doesn't need any more of that, so learning can just go away. Can change this to neutral. Good. So now we can cast Establish Magic Portal here with both characters. Make sure. There we go. Now when I want to return, I can use one of those mystic... these are called Crystals of Mysticism. They teleport you back to town when you use them. I don't often use them just for when I need to return, though. I save them for either extremely long one-way journeys or for when I'm in an emergency, because they add a year of your life every time. I mean, not a year, a month to your life age, as long as you're using them. So it adds up pretty quickly if you just use them willy-nilly. But eventually you get to the point where that's not an issue. If you go a little too hard early, you'll definitely run into at least a few issues. I'm gonna see if there isn't something new on the end here, because the new stuff will always show up at the end. So it was like an 83 last time. Let's take a look. And there's some decent stuff, but I can't use a lot of it right now. But I did notice that we got something I can use as part of another adventure. So, let's complete that little bounty chain. Now, as I said, the black chainmail is actually useful for another thing, and I might come to regret that option, but I have enough options for other guilds to join that I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to find more by the time it matters. I thought they were the same. Am I going crazy? Oh yeah, that is it's that it's insight, not that. Okay. There we go. I was going crazy. There we go. That's our inventory all sorted. We will be ending the stream here. I thank everyone who ends up watching this for your time, and I hope everybody ends up having a lovely evening.